What's going on, y'all? Kwasi here for Kwasi Media and Kwasi Animations. Real talk, I figured it out. I realized what was wrong. My modifier was disabled because my behind had simplify on and it had no subdivisions. It had disabled the ability to do subdivision surface. That's why it was red. So I fixed it. So now we're working with that. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go in and hit some shade smooth. And yeah, we're working on it now. So yeah, my bad. And I'm just using proportional editing with this, even though this looks crazy right now, and I shouldn't have this much going on, but that's because I had to figure it out. And once I figured it out, I was like, okay, I figured it out. Let me get my mind right, because I'm tripping. All right, so we're gonna go back in. We're gonna click this here. We're gonna go hood. I'm gonna go hood because it's just me doing it. And yeah, that should be it. And I think I can come in here and go, and then we're done. So yeah. That should work. That's why I still want that cloak, because this kind of seems detached, and I don't know if I wanted to be a part of the body or not, but I believe that if I can come up with a way for a cloak, one that would just drape over him, then I would definitely use it. Excuse me. The thing that's becoming difficult is I'm not really sure how to make it. Like, really. I mean, because, okay, the only other option would be to do what I was doing a little while ago, but that's to basically use the body mesh itself. So let's see, let's go in here. Let's use the body mesh, and I'll select, let's go to box select, and I'll just pick down to there. And I know I'm just gonna clean it up, so let's Shift D, P, back in here. Select this by itself. Okay, go back to the front. All right, so no. And then I'm gonna go here at the neck. I'm gonna come all the way down because I don't want, I'm gonna create a collar. No, do I want? No, because it's gonna be open. So yeah, we want a little bit of a collar, so I'll start there. Let's go verts. And because we're going verts, I'll come to the front and slide up. Well, whatever, I just did a lot for nothing, right? All right, and we're gonna pick all of that. Vertices. All right, that's done. Back in here. All right. I know I want it to be sleeveless, so I'm gonna go to where I went here before, do the same thing there. Come here, do the same thing there. Go back to the front, Z. And this time I'm gonna go back over here. And yeah, select. And select the shift select. All right, yeah, I wanted to make sure because it looked like it still was there. I was like, is it still there? Shift select, X vertices. Got that, this, okay. I'll select up to here and here, vertices. Oh my goodness, I'm tripping over here, man. All right. Back into solid mode. And I know that I want this to come down. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shift select all of this, turn these off, delete these, pick this one at the pick this one. Hit grid fill, which was already on, don't like that one. Come over here, pick it like this one, do the same thing again, that's fine. All right. This, so we'll get a good one on it. Yeah. Now, for the sake of working on this, I'm going to hide all of these things because I want to see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna hide those other things. Yeah. So, okay. Now, let's see here. Let's bring him back in. I'm going to, because this still is set up the way the other one was. Let's take all this off and just skip. Go ahead and take off the shape keys. I know there are shape keys. So UV mapping. All right. And close that. All right. Now, one thing I can think to do is to scale this up a little bit on the Y and X. All right, so this way it doesn't go up and down. And then on this bottom portion, come out and just go extrude with E, Z down, and do what I did before, and then come out. All right. Now the deal is that here. So what I'm thinking is I'll select this one, and no, I don't want proportional. I don't want proportional editing on. I just wanted to just blow this on. Now that's, you know what? Let's just deal with this like we're dealing with. I'm gonna hit Control R and a bunch of loop cuts. Rip it up some guys. All right. Now, for the sake of this, I'm going to, let me go back into here. I'm gonna go to smoothing. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna cut the proportional back on. Click this one. A little bit out, a little bit, just a little. I don't want to go a lot because I really want to ease into this. I'm gonna slide it back some. Does look like he's wearing a dress, doesn't it? And, oh. I'm hitting G on to move these, like GY, so I can move it backward and forward. This way I don't have this weird, because sometimes when you do it by hand, it doesn't line up directly. So yeah. Another thing, do not forget to save. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm gonna go straight down the middle. I'm gonna delete these vertices because again I want it to be open. Because proportional editing is on, I'm gonna click all of this. I'm gonna scale it out. I'm gonna scale it up. Well, I'm gonna scale these two parts up because no, this is not on right now. Turn it on. All right. All right, I'm turning it back off because I might not want that to work like that. All right, so I'm gonna click all of this. I'm gonna hit Scale X, proportional editing off, hit Scale X 0, click the whole thing here, Scale X 0. All right, now that made this go in, so we don't want that to go in. I'm gonna hit Scale X, Scale X, Scale X. All right, zoom in on this so we have a place to orbit. All right, yeah. Do the same thing here. Come back. Scale X. All right. So now if I bring back his shirt, see where it's at. All right. Yeah. So now I'm gonna select the whole thing. Proportional editing on. Scale. Scale. Shift Z. Make it a little bit bigger than the shirt. Okay. Let's go up here. Click this one and this one. Scale it again, scale it down some because I just want really the neck to do that. All right, because remember there's going to be a hood on this, and I'm going to scale forward. I might come down a little bit. All right, I'm going to pick just these. Why? I tend to deal with the directions more. You can scale X, because when you do this and you don't use that, a lot of times what'll happen is the model, things will jack up on it real quickly. So I tend to use, scale it down some. I tend to use the directions because it basically it stops you from creating mistakes that it stops you from having to worry about if that piece is going to work correctly or not. If that direction is wrong, then you have to go back and fix that stuff, and then it just turns into a whole thing. All right, so now he has his cloak, and what I want to do is, and understand this cloak is now officially, now the reason why I say what it said is because of the armature. Okay, so because there's an armature on it, so the whole thing doesn't have, so I would have to go in and transfer waste for this because it's a separate piece now. So that part would have to be separated. Get rid of the skin, go to the front, we're gonna go Shift 2, and there we are. So yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. I know now I need to put the hood on, and I still have my hood, right? Yeah, so when I turn the hood on, there we go. So now we have the whole complete measure. Go back to this. So yeah, and I'm turning my belts. That's his bones. Okay, so now if I want to play with this a little bit more, since all of the modifiers are off, say I come over here and I click this, come over here and I click this one. All right, so it goes up to the top. I don't want those. Let's turn that off. All right, hold on, proportional's not on. All right, blow it up a little bit more. Okay, so like here, so I want it on top of the shoulder rather than inside of it. Ooh, let me do that instead. That is way smarter. All right, let me do this. See if it works. Let's make sure it's working. It's not modifying it. All right, so we're alone. Gotta do it alone. All right, let me turn that off because it's not mirroring it for some reason. And I can push it back a little. There we go. Go the one a little bit further along. There we go. Go up. And I'm hitting Z's because I'm on the global axis. So I'm gonna click these two. And I hit scale Z and GY. All right, so there we go. Okay then. So now we have the parts that we want. So the first character is done. We have officially clothed the character. Think we're done with him. Now we're gonna shade him, and then I'm gonna deal with pairing. Matter of fact, let's not even do that. Let's deal with pairing the clothes. So we know that we need the clothing to match to the body. As right now, if I turn on this, right, and I click this and I move his head, see how the hood does not go with his head. So we already know that we need the hood to match up to that. So my deal is figuring out how do I want to go about pairing that. So I will click that and then click the bones. Then I'm going to hit Control P, right? And then I'm going to do it with empty groups. Okay. So now when I click it, all right, and I don't know, let me think about that. It's still not together, right? Because I need these vertex groups to match up. So when I go to vertex groups, it's got empty groups. These groups are not, there's no transfer of weight right now. All right. So what I want to do is get the weight from here, from the body onto this. So I'll go here, and what I'm thinking is, I'm trying to remember how to do it, because this is something that I'm not necessarily accustomed to doing. So you have to pardon me. Again, we're going through the trials of a pipeline of something that one has to learn how to do or be accustomed to doing. I gotta be real, I'm not all that accustomed to doing this portion. So I may undo this. Matter of fact, I will. I'm gonna delete all groups. And I think I need to go into the bones, the actual bones. Right? Is that the actual bone? There you go. Okay. And then, yeah. Do I go into the actual bones? Man, this is something, like I said, I'm just not used to doing this. So I'm trying to figure out how do I do this. Because if I go automatic weights, I feel like if I go automatic weights, right? And I go, okay, automatic weights. I feel like the moment I click this hood or click this head and I do this, it's not going to move with it. Okay, it does. It does. Okay, that's cool. All right, that means that it paired pretty well. So now this, I'm a little nervous about this one. So let's see what the legs do. If I move the leg, will it move? See, so the bottom doesn't move, but the top will. Watch. So the top will move, but the bottom won't. Okay. So what I want to do is find, I'm going to undo this right here. Okay. And since this armature is set for the boots also as a mask, I'm just gonna get rid of the armature. I don't need the boots for that because that's not a part of him, it's a part of the body. And I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna click the bones. I'm gonna do the same thing I just did with automatic weights. Okay, I'm gonna click, come back in, do this, see what we get. All right, now it's moving and deforming. Now the problem is even though it's doing that, watch how the pants, see how it folded, and then now the clothing, hold on. The clothing it's going inside of his body. We're gonna have to fix that. And this is a matter of making a shape key that is going to activate when that occurs. So these are things that you have to take consideration and do as you go along, as you're modeling and designing characters. So again, we have the belt now. I'm gonna take the belt, I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna hit Control P with automatic weights. All right, so now see all those things now that were up here are now inside here, because the hood, pants, belt, and the pants are already paired because I never got rid of their armature. They are automatically gonna work with the body along with the shirt, because the shirt was paired to the body. So it came with it came from the body. Okay, so now let's click. I want to see something here. All right, so let's turn him, see what happens. So the belt's there, of course the belt stays. All right, so for the sake of testing, I'm gonna save him. I'm gonna go to click him. I'm gonna go to my BVH. I'm gonna put in an animation real fast because I want to see how well he works with it. And let's go to adventure. And since he's supposed to be sort of a mage type character, let me see if I can find something for him. No, fantasy. There we go. Let's see. Come on, man. I know I saw something. There it is. All right. Do that one. All right. So once it comes in, okay. Now understand when I put animations in, I have to clean up. This is mocap data, so I have to clean up mocap data. You see how he's way up there? Okay, so that means that the data is not working. Like the arms are going to be off and all those things. So now see how there's clipping on the skin. Let me look at my frame rate. It's still 30. Okay, so see that's clipping, and I can fix that by creating shape keys to fix that. So yeah, like the boots work fine. The boots work fine. The pants work pretty well. I like the fact that this creased there like it did because there's a lot of geometry there. So it that works well because there's a lot of geometry, but it's also slowing the animation down. So let's go into simplify, and it still didn't speed it up any. Oh well. That's because of a lot of subdivision surface in there. But that wouldn't slow me down from animating, because if I was animating, I would just take all of his stuff off and animate him without all of the extra clothing. But yeah, so you see how it's clipping through. If I have a shape key on that, which I don't, so over here we took all the shape keys off. So if I created a shape key, the shape key would activate. I would create a driver to activate the shape key, so whenever he bent over, it will literally keep this geometry pulled out. Okay, so once he folds, it'll activate in that moment, and then once he goes back, it'll go back to where it needs to go because the driver would do that. So I'll show you guys that. I have to refresh myself on it, so I'll show you guys how to do that. And when you're doing your own animations, your own stuff, then you better do it. Okay, so we're going to turn the shield off. We're going to hit X, click him. You're gonna shift. All right, so it's not gonna save that. So whenever I come back in, that animation won't be inside this folder, so I don't want it in that folder. I'm scroll this down. All right, don't forget to save. So we pretty much paired everything. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and shade. I'm gonna click this and make it as close as I can, because when I go into shading, I want to come up on there. All right, so we're gonna do. I'm gonna hide this, hide that. Let me open this up because I want to be able to get to those parts. So I'm gonna do his pants. So we're gonna do pants, and because it has a principal shader, everything else has that diffuse shader, right? So I'm not gonna use the diffuse shader. I'm just use the principal because it's still color. All right, I'm gonna bring the roughness all the way up because I'm not gonna use that. And yeah, so. Well, no, I know where I put it. I put it 0.98. No, 0.78. All right. And then we're going to put in our shader, because I still want to use that. And I'm thinking I want him to be wearing a brownish color like his boots. So it's already existent, but I'm going to click this like that. And I'm going to drop it on top of it. And then I'm going to put this brown on. A brownish type color. There we go. All right. Now, because it is like it is, I'm gonna come up and change this tone some. That was the skin shader. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna change this color to that brown for the boots. There we go. Click this one and then make it brighter. All right, come back in there, guy. Come up on it. There we go. All right. Specular down some. A lot of space. Matter of fact, let me use an RGB. And then I'll come in and do this. And I tend to try to use the same color that's already there. So like it'll be brownish this way. So when the specular is there, it's similar to the color that's already in existence. So yeah, he's wearing these brown pants. And I wanted to have a texture on it. So what I'm gonna do is, because this color is the natural color, I'm gonna put in a mix RGB into this bottom one. Do that. I'm gonna put it on multiply. I'm gonna put in the image texture. Go to my images. I think I have a fabric I want to use. I could be wrong. Maybe denim, and I don't want to use denim. All right. Yeah, I don't want to use denim, and I don't think I have anything else. I need to get some more stuff in here. So another thing, guys, check the stuff. Like, go and download fabric textures, skin textures. Like I have a skin texture right here. A few other things. I'll use this denim one right here. So, yeah. And it's not plugged in yet. So now let's plug it in. Plug it in. There we go. Now that came in blotchy, so I'm gonna hit Shift Control T. It's gonna give me a texture node and a mapping node. I'm gonna click the pants again. I'm gonna open them up. I'm gonna select them completely because you see how that looks right there. All right. I'm gonna hit. Do I want to do that like? Nope. I'm gonna leave it just like it is. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna come about it. That and come down here on the X and Z and I'm gonna click 10. Matter of fact, let's click it to 20. Yeah, there we go. And because we have no multiply, I can go both ways. Now the downside to using this way is because now I need to adjust the way that this looks. I need to adjust its like, not that, I'm clicking the wrong thing. I need to adjust how it stands out. So, and you see, you can kind of see the loop in the seam, and I want it to be seamless, and it's not. So let me go in here real quick. Let me select this. Let me blow it up. Oh no, let's make it itty bitty. I like that, but it's still too much. I think that was a little bit better. Problem is now if I come in here and do this and go like 30, yeah, so oops, go to 20. There's a lot of little stuff you can do to work on this. So yeah, I'm like, let me find it. And I may not use that at all because I don't really like how that turned out, to be honest. But again, this is we're doing an anime style thing, so let's just keep rocking with it. And I figure like I mean, again, if I had other textures, I could use those, but I'm feeling like I may not use that, so I'm gonna cut that off. I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna keep it the way I have it and come in and make this darker. The darker. So yeah. And come up a little bit more. Bring this down some more. There we go. All right, so we're not gonna keep beating that up. His top, not really sure what color I want to make it, but what I am thinking is I'm gonna bring in his pants by default, hit 2, and we're gonna call it shirt. And I'm gonna make it a little darker than the top. All right, come into the shader, click 2 because I don't want to mess that part up. And I'm gonna bring the light part up some more. Keep this dark part about the same. I shouldn't have messed with it, right? So let's undo that. All right, so I'll do this instead. Bring the light portion up. This up a little bit. And because I'm that guy, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna delete all of that. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna put in another mix shader. Drop it on there. Put in the color node. That did not work the way I wanted it to. Put in a color ramp, I mean to say. Put in the color ramp, I'm gonna put in a noise texture. Do I want a noise? Yeah. Because this is how I'm gonna give it some texture. I'm gonna drop it in there. We're gonna go ahead and hit Control T again on the texture node. We're gonna go to Object, click into the vector. I'm gonna put this at like, let's say 120. All right, put this at 5. Take it all the way up to 1. We get close as we can. Now you see that we have a little texture in it now. So I'm gonna pull this back to make it darker a little bit. I'm gonna take the light part up. I don't want to get too light. There we go. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Now, to be that guy, I'm gonna put in a bump node. Drop it on the height. Now, understand when I select this bump node, I need this bump node to be down here. So I'm gonna pull all this back so it don't look weird. Oh, okay. I'm gonna put the bump node on the normal. It's gonna make all this pop up. You see how I start to slug in a little bit more now? And I don't have a weenie computer. So now there's a texture there. Now I can do the same thing for the pants, and I probably will. So I'm gonna go down to like 0.3 on that, and then for here like 4.5. Matter of fact, we're gonna go to 1.2. All right, so now there's like this leathery texture on that shirt. All right, you feel me now? Okay, so because I did that like that, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna select all of that. I'm gonna shift select this. I'm gonna hit copy. I'm gonna go to the pants, and I'm gonna hit delete this. I'm gonna hit paste. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna go mix. Drop the mix in here. From here, I'm gonna pull this over to the factor, and then I'm gonna pull this into the normal, if it'll let me, into the normal. All right, so now both things have a texture on them, but on this one, I don't want it to be so prevalent. So I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna bring this down some more. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Even though now the color, like with the shader, seems like it's a lot brighter, or there's more spacing between it. I'm gonna just beef this up some more. Let's take it to 16, because as far as it'll go. Refine it a little more, and now it doesn't look so glitchy. All right, and there we have it. Yes, sir. He is dressed for success. Kind of want that to be a little darker. Am I being weird about that? I can make it a little darker, right? Yeah, I put in a mix RGB. And put it on here. No, here. Hit multiply. Then go to, matter of fact, I put this brown. Then we can make it a little bit deeper. All right. No, I don't like that. Go to mix. Yeah. Cut it off. This back on. Let's click this back to color. All right, that's fine like it is. If the boots are lighter, they're lighter. All right, so we got him pretty much done. Now I'm gonna go in and we're gonna put on his, I don't think I named it anything. Didn't I name it? Oh, it still says body. Let me rename it to Cloak. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, so in this cloak, I'm gonna make it black, but we're gonna find like a grayish blackish color. We're gonna come up with something like that. So, and here I come down to right about there. Not too much. I'm gonna go ahead and put in this shader. Click 2, open it up, click it, click the shader, hit backspace. I want to start off from scratch. Lift this up. I'm gonna drop it. All right, now I'm gonna play with it. Alrighty then. Okay. Yes, sir. And now I haven't finished this because I want it thicker. It is thin right now, so I'm gonna literally make it thicker than it is. And because this color is light as it is, I'm gonna bring that color down some. All right, beef it up because I still want it to be shiny enough, because again, we're still doing like this anime style thing. Take that off. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put RGB on for the specular. Bring it down. Matter of fact, I will make it white. Yeah, there we go. Boom, clad is like that. Looking good, boy. And we're gonna do the same thing where we're gonna add depth, but this time we're gonna do something where it's gonna have like a design on it. Mix shader, click. Let's see what we have. Mix shader, color ramp. Gonna do Roaring Eye texture. Shift T. Object. Color to factor. Color to factor. Alright, I think I like that. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna hit Shift S, go to texture, go to Musgrave. Alright, so on the Musgrave, I'm gonna go 30. Detail 5. Dimensions 10. 3 on what is it? Lucinarity, however they say it. All right, and here I'm gonna bring it back. Such. In fact, I'm gonna add a noise texture because I want this thing to spin a little bit. And the noise texture is gonna bump up how many pieces are in there. There we go. I want it to spin a little bit. There we go. Spin just a little bit. So let's go 0.1. All right, there we go. Beat that up. I'm gonna bring this down like 2.5. Bring this up to 3.5. There we go. Yes, sir. I still kind of want this to be less than this. Let's go scale of 1. Scale of 5 again. No, 30 was good. Let's say scale of 1 on this. All right. See, the possibilities are nearly endless. I'm gonna do the same thing here. We'll use a bump node. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-do the bump node to like 1.2 and I'll put this at 0.03. Bring this up. Drop this onto the height. Bring it down. Normal. So I need to fix this space right between here where it's just open like that. I don't really like that. All right, so it should be pop. It should pop up a little bit. Let's see what we have. I don't know if I like that or not. I may change the color of this. Put it on 0.6. I'm gonna do this to 1. Strength of 1. I'm gonna go strength of 1. All right, so let's go to 0.3. Bring this down. Oof, it's dragging. I'm using it without the shift button. Okay, so it was pretty good. All right, so yeah, there's 1.2. Save, don't forget to save. Yeah, we're gonna switch the colors up on this. I'm still gonna kind of give it a brownish tone. Come into our shader, give it a brownish tone. It's still kind of close to that grayish, that I can't think of words. But yeah, that color. Now, because we use that, the dark part, it's a little darker than we need it to be, so we're gonna beef this up a little bit more. Oh my goodness, did he just go crazy in there? Did he just go crazy in there? I kind of want this to be purple, to be honest. Let's go purple. Forget it, why not? Let's say that's a weird contrast of colors. Oh well, it's a short film. We're just making something fast and play with it a little bit. And then I gotta go and change so let me do that now because I think I'm messing up by doing what I'm thinking I'm doing. Go in here and change this to purple. Yeah, so I don't want to mess anything up because I know clearly I need to change the specularity. All right, so man, the dark side of this is like literally driving me just a little bit. So I don't want to trick myself into thinking it's something else. All right, so that means that the hood is going to get the same color because they're together. So since I want to do that, I'm going to click the hood, then shift click the cloak, and then we're going to go materials. Now, because the hood is smaller with geometry, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna hit this. Hit A, U, and do smart UV project. And here I'm gonna do the same thing because I want them to have pretty much the same run of it. Right. Now, what I'm thinking is for the hood, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna bump up the scale so that they're close to matching. All right, there we go. Boom. There we are. So, ta-da. And don't forget, we still have the belt to do it. I'm going to do it by itself, and I'm going to give it the color of the pants. I'm going to click this. What in the world? Did I leave the texture node back there? I sure did, didn't I? I'm going to call this belt, and I'm going to beef up. I beef that part up. What I'm going to do? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I'm going to make it darker. Let me hit 2. And make this part darker. Alright. So just in case the belt happens to show, we have our thing put together. I really feel like these boots are too light. I'm gonna go in and brighten them up, darken them up a little bit more. I still feel like these boots are way too light. Alright. That should work, huh? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. And we officially made a character that is flashy as I don't know what, because he is wearing a purple top. But the designs are cool. I might change it back. But nonetheless, man, I went too long, and this video may take a second to get up because it's going to be big. But nonetheless, there we go. We have it. We have him. Let's go ahead and put him in the scene. And he is done. This is as far as we're going to probably go with him. So yeah, there you have it. And from start to finish, we have the first character. So the next one, I'm probably gonna go ahead and get him done ahead of time, and then I'll bring him in to then the next thing you will be seeing is me doing the world building the environment. The environment basically is going to comprise of some trees, a cave, and the scene is going to be set in a sort of a foggy darkness, but it's going to be lit with like moonlight and firelight. So with that being said, man, none but love. See y'all in the next one.